Hi, class. Today we're going to be talking about the rules of rounding, and to be more specific, rounding certain numbers to certain place values. So we have to look at a place value grid for that. So when I ask you to round to the nearest tens, you have to know where the tens are. And when I ask you to round to the nearest hundreds, you have to know where the hundreds are in terms of a place value. Here it says to round 37 to the nearest 10. Well, first we draw 37, and we have to identify where the 10 place is in the 37. In this case, it would be where the 3 is, because in 37, there's three tens and seven ones. So once we found our 10 place, we simply draw a line and focus on the number to the right side of that line. If that number is 5 or greater, we would round the 3 up by 1 and make every other number to the right side of that line 0. But if that number is less than 5, we simply keep the 3 the same and make every other number to the right side of that line 0. In this case, 7 is greater than 5, so we would round the 3 up into a 4, and now every other number to the right side of that line becomes 0. So in this case, I get a final answer of 40. And as you can see from the visualization here, between 30 and 40, 37 is closer to 40 if you round to the nearest 10. So my answer is going to be 40. Now, if we focus on the next example, 37 rounded to the nearest 100. Notice that the 100 place is actually not available. It's actually invisible. So I would actually draw a place value holder of 0 here, because technically speaking, 37 is the same as 037. It's just a place value holder for better visualization. I now draw a line and focus on the number to the right side of that line, which is a 3. Since 3 is less than 5, I simply keep the 0 the same and make everything else to the right side of that line 0. So my final answer should be 0. And as you can see from the visualization, when you have 0 to 100 here, because 37 is closer to 0, we simply just round to 0 when we round to the nearest 100. Now let's go over some examples. Here it says round to the nearest 10. Well, the 10 place is here, right in the middle. I simply draw a line. Since 3 is less than 4, I would keep the number here the same, on all of the left side the same, and then just make every other number on the right side 0. So my final answer should be 440. All right, now for the next one, I identify where my 10 place is. I now draw a line. Since 8 is greater than 5, I simply round the 4 up, keep the 2, I round the 4 up, turn it into a 5, and then I make every other number to the right side of that 0. So the answer should be 250. Now, if I were to do the next one, there's a 6 here. I draw a line. Because 7 is greater than 5, I round the 6 up. So I write 7, 5. This 6 now becomes a 7. And then I simply make this number to the right side of it 0. So my final answer is 7570. And that's how you do that to round to nearest 10. Now for round to nearest 100, identify where the 100 place value is. In this case for 576, it's right here. I draw a line. Since 7 is greater than 5, I would round the 5 up to be a 6, and every other number to the right side becomes 0. So now I have 600. My 100 value is here. I draw a line. Since 7 is greater than 5, I would round the 3 up. The 8 stays the same. The 3 becomes a 4. Now every other number to the right side of that line, so the 7 becomes 00. So I got 8,400 now. Now for the last one, my 100 place value is here. I now draw a line. 2 is less than 5, so it does not round this up. So I simply keep the numbers the same to the left side. So I got 4. And the numbers to the right side, 29 becomes 00. So I got 4400. Now, when rounding to the nearest 1,000, I simply identify the thousands place value. Once again, the thousands place value for 576, it's invisible. It's right here because the thousands is here. So I'm simply just going to draw a 0 for a place value holder, and then draw a line across. The number to the right side of that line is 5. Since it's 5 or greater, I round the 0 up by 1 to be a 1 and make every other number to the right side 0. So I would actually get 1,000 here. Now for the next one, my thousand place value is here. I draw a line. Since 3 is less than 5, I keep 8 the same, make every other number, so 377 to the right side, 0. So I got 000. So I got 8,000. Now the last one, this 4 here is my 1,000 place. I simply draw a line. Since 2 is less than 5, I would keep the numbers on the left the same, so 4, and then make the numbers on the right side 0. So 000, 44000. Okay, now we're going to learn how to round to decimal places. Here we want to round 5.61 to the nearest tenths. So for my tens place, if I write my number out, 5.61, the 6 is where the tens place is. So I'm going to draw a line right after my 6, and now I look at the 1. Since 1 is less than 5, I'm going to keep the 6 the same and make every other number to the right side of this 0. So I'm going to have 5.60. So my answer rounded to the nearest tenth is 5.6. Okay, round this number to the nearest tenths. My tens place is the 3. I'm now going to draw a line here. Since the number to the right side of that line is 5 or greater, in this case it's just 5, so I'm going to round this 3 up by 1 and make everything else to the right side of that line 0. So I'm going to get 2.400. So my final answer should be 2.4. Okay, now we're going to round to the nearest hundreds. If I write every value here, the hundreds place should be 4, 0, 5, 3, and I have a 4 somewhere here, so it should be the 5. So the 5 is my hundreds place, and I'll draw a line. Since 3 is less than 5, I keep the 5 the same. Make every other number to the right side of that line 0. So my final answer should be 4.05. Okay, my hundreds place. Right, it's going to be the 6 because after the decimal place, the 3 is the tenths, and then the 6 is the hundreds. I now draw a line. Since 8 is greater than 5, I round the 6 up by 1. And make every other number to the right side of that line 0. So in this case, I'm going to have 1.37.